Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. Still not sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. Maybe one day. Good morning. Today is the 6th of April and here we are at yet another HubNut social at Classic Motor Hub near Byberry in the Cotswolds. This is actually, I think, the 5th anniversary, the first ever HubNut social that was in March 2019. I actually attended that and my video is on the channel somewhere. It's terrible, like all the Shambolic shuffles are. But then again, there's a reason they're called that, so if you didn't realise that already, turn the video off. Anyway, so we've got a couple of the famous cars from the collection here. Ford Fairmont AU number 2006, Daihatsu Charade. Goodness me, this thing gets a lot of wet, doesn't it? Can't remember if those alloy wheels are original to it or not. I think they are. We've got all sorts of fun merchandise and things, and Bob the Camper and all sorts of things like that. Let's go straight on to this section here with this 1973 Gilbert Invader Mark III. Ford Escort Mark I rear taillights, built in Wales, with the Ford 3-litre V6 Essex engine. This is one of the very last of the Invaders, in fact one of the very last Gilburns full stop, because when VAT came in 1973, a lot of kit car manufacturers either struggled or they stopped production entirely, and unfortunately Gilburn, being a glass fibre car built in a very kind of small workshop in South Wales, they just couldn't cope, so they went under, which is a shame. Just spoke to a gentleman here who owns this Ford Cougar. I think it's 2021 or 2022 and 71. Something that seems to be attracting a bit of attention is this E39 BMW 3, the 5 series, sorry, it's a 530i. Angelised facelift, so 2000 or later. Got the correct stickers on here, of course. I was hoping for a beige leather interior views, but I think I've seen one of those already, so we'll carry on. I quite like that actually. M5's a bit too much for me, and they're very expensive now, but you know, that looks better. Also, this is something that's nice and close to my heart. It's a 2011 Volvo S80. I don't know if this is just the kind of 2.4 or if it's the 6-cylinder. It might be the 8-cylinder one. I did make those actually. I haven't had a go in one of these P3 S80s yet. I've just driven a P2 one. That would be fun. Also, obviously fun is this 1995-1996 Jaguar XJ Sport X300 variety. And yes, there we go. A nice beige leather interior with the sort of dark wood trim in it. I do like a nice beige leather interior. Might be more cream, but I think we'll start with that. Next one we can't talk about because we don't talk about those on this channel. So that will go over some more Volvo action. This was here at the last event I went to. I think it was about June I was last here. 2004 to 5 facelift P2 V70. Once again, yes, a beige leather interior with wood. Probably got the 5-cylinder white block, the same as my S40. But lovely colour. Different dark blue to the one I've got actually. Always prefer the facelift P2 V70s, but your mileage might vary with that. A couple of the cars. You've got one here that's quite late for one of these. It'll be a 77. I think it was the last year they actually made these. This is the Model 70. I think this is one of the Invacar's own ones as opposed to the AC one, but I might be wrong. Someone's going to have to check about that. We've got the earlier version here. Given these both have the Essex plates on them, I imagine they were made by Invacar themselves at Fundersley, PU and then JN. This is the earlier model. I can't remember what these are called now. 1970 to 71. Actually, in comparison with the Model 70 that's there, it does look considerably more old-fashioned, doesn't it? 2003 to 4 Honda Civic Type R EP3. Oh, it's for sale as well. As Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power channel says, this could be yours. See the chef. Well, he's probably whipping up some tasty ingredients there. That's not bad either. I did have a look and wonder if it was a real one, but I've seen the rev count up to 9,000 and 6-speed gearbox, so that is a genuine one. Bit of a contrast here with this Morris Minor. This is the first type of Minor they ever made. Not very far from here actually, down the road at Cowley in Oxford. There's not much in here at all. 3-speed gearbox, probably all crash. I think the accelerator's in the middle in these or something, I could be wrong. But yeah, pretty scary to drive, I should think. And then we've got something very special here indeed, the Citroen Xantia Activa. It depends on what market you're looking at as to what engines these came with. I think they're all petrol. I forget in this country whether you could get the 2-litre turbo or the 3-litre V6. One of the most interesting cars ever made, really. I'm not so fussed about some of the ones that Ian Subaru himself likes, but this one, maybe even with Citroen UK plates, because they were registered in Slough back in the day, Berkshire plate, JB, so that might have been owned by Citroen UK themselves initially, I wouldn't know. But 94, 96, very nice first face sort of thing for the Xantias. Next to a Land Rover Series 1, I think this will be from the 50s. Yeah, that's your security right there. That's it, that's what you get. So not the highest ever, but very appropriate out here out in the countryside actually, in the classic colour for these. Just bought the Volvo today, viewers. But something right next to me, yes, it's something that was one of the most popular videos of recent times, a 1991 Fiat Panda 1000 CL. I've spoken to Richard as I drove this, and he says, yeah, there is something probably not up to the brakes. You can get an all-round disc conversion with these, or a better servo. But yeah, he's made it, he's not dead, so rates can't be that bad, can they? 1984 or 85 Citroen Visa. I actually passed this on the A419 up here. And this is in really, really lovely condition for the age. It's not perfect or anything, but I don't think I've seen these really outside of something like this sort of event for a long, long time. Facelifted one, it's the 14 TRS, and I think there's original wheel trims on it as well. Always see this one as well, the Seat Arona FR, similar to the Ibiza in the video that I released yesterday. This one's an automatic. I think it's a 1-litre TSI in this. It's probably like it's probably a 1 litre VFR or VFR Tech. I don't know. There's loads of different trim levels to these. Right, I think this Montego's a petrol. It isn't. I apologise, viewers. 1994, 1995 Montego with MG. I think these are MGF wheels. You can just put them in. The front seats are off a Rover R8, I think. Probably the 2-litre O series engine, which is fantastic. These are really nice to drive actually, the Montego set to a 2-litre engine. Skip that one, then get on to the Mark 1 Punto. Yes, another video that's done quite well recently. This is the SX. It's a bit high specification than the 55 1.1. This is the 85 with the 16 valve engine. I think this would be one of the kind of later ones actually on an R, so 97, 98 with the fog lamps. Dead fancy. MGF 97, 98 Tahiti blue. I think there's a little bit of beige leather interior action going on there, viewers, which is always nice to see. Very early Mark III Capri here. They came out in 1978. I think March 78 was the launch of these, and on an S. So yeah, it would be before August 78. So early one, 1.6 GL. I don't think I've seen these wheels before on one of these, but they're quite suited actually. I saw this parked at my side of the road as I was sort of passing by, and I wondered if it was coming here. I'm delighted to say that it has. I must get around to driving another Capri at some point soon, viewers. 1994, 1995 Ford Fiesta Mark III LX facelift with the Mondeo style door mirrors. I don't think these wheels originally come with an LX. It would have been wheel trims, I think, on one of those. Those I think are off, look like an XR2i or something. I might be wrong about that. but someone's modified the engine. I think this is probably just a 1.3 Valencia engine in there, or I think a Dura E it was called around this time. But could be wrong again, like an awful now. We've got some Monaro action here going on. This is the Vauxhall Monaro VXR. This is actually even more powerful than the Monaro I drove on not very sensible second-hand classics last year. We are, I think, like 500 horsepower for one of these. One of the last ones is 2006. Oh, we've got something very tasty here. 2001 Ford Focus Mark 1. Pre-facelift, but oh viewers, it's the ideal specification. Mark 1 Focus. A beige leather interior with wood. I do like a nice beige leather interior. If that was a saloon, it would be even better, but it's the right colour, right interior, right specification. I think it's probably 1.8 2-litre petrol, which is perfect. Also quite tasty is this little Hyundai i10. I think this is the N line. I think these have a little 1 litre with about 99 horsepower and a 5-speed manual. That looks like a lot of fun, actually. That's the sort of thing that I'd have a try in, actually. Then we've got this, I think it's a 2007, it's Alpha 159. This is actually the 3.2 V6. And yes, we do approve. No ultra emission zone. Thank you very much, Mayor of London. Hopefully someone else will get elected this time. I've got a beige leather interior as well. 6-speed manual. That will be quite some car. I've driven one of these actually. It was the 1.75 TBI engine, which was on the channel last year. Which this is the 4-wheel drive version as well. The Q4. Fantastic. Mark 3 Volkswagen Golf GTI. Quite a late one. So facelift. 1997, 1998 on an R. That looks actually quite good. I'm not so sure about the little headlamps though. Oh, very nice. Now, this was not called an Alpine when it was sold in this country. There was some kind of licensing issue with, I think, Peugeot, who owned the Alpine name because of Talbot Alpine and things like that. So this was called a Renault GTA in this country. If those are real plates, then yeah, Renault UK I think used to register the cars sometimes onto the LB suffixes on an H, so 1990, 1991. Oh, someone's actually left that open so we can have a look inside. There we go. Isn't that absolutely fantastic? Engine's actually in the back. But yeah, A6 10 or whatever. This one is called Renault GTA. Little Suzuki Wagon R Plus here. Plus it stands for the fact that it's wider than the Japanese specification model. So it's not a K car, but it looks a bit like one. I think this is the facelifted one, so it was a slightly different engine in it, which is I think shared with Suzuki Jimny. I haven't driven one of these, but I have driven a Jimny. That was the very first episode of No Budget Reviews back in the day. Looks very neat actually. Like I wonder how much that is standard. Volkswagen Fox. For some reason, I quite like these. I'd quite like to go in one of these actually. I imagine this is for 1.4. They did make a 1 litre as well. Built in South America, like a stopgap between the Volkswagen Lupo and the Volkswagen Up, really. Yeah, so this was a 2007-2008. 1989 to 90. Audi 80 B3. And as it says on the back, Schon mit Katalysatortechnik. Around that sort of time, it was a big deal to have catalytic converters in cars in this country, so that's one of the first. I like the original dealer plates from Whites of Wimbledon. Porsche 911 Carrera S. This I think is an early 997. So yeah, 2004 to 5. I have driven a 996. I've never driven one of those, but that does look like fun. 1976 to 7, Triumph Dolomite 1850 HL. Someone has got some Sprint alloys and other wheels on this. 1850 HL, this is quite standard looking. This is a manual. There's one of 3 Dolomites here actually, Dave. There's quite a few of them here. And I approve because I used to own one back in the day. It was a 1500 SE one I had, a special edition towards the end of production. One was in 1980. Imagine it actually says February 78, all replica Taxis in there, so that must be 77. Gosh, this wood noise is bad, but I do apologise. 2003 MG TF. I wonder if this is a 160. Now, most of them had a black interior. Oh, hello, Rainbow Poo. I've not seen you in a while. Most of them have a black interior, so that's unusual. Oh, it's a 160, so it's got the VVC engine. Interesting, this one. 2000 Peugeot 306 Cabriolet. This is a final facelift one, actually. I think they've made it until 2001, so quite a late one. I've driven a couple of 306s. I've always wanted to try the Cabriolet, actually. That looks fantastic. Talking of these little hot hatches, modern ones. 2019 Volkswagen Up GTI. I've driven quite a few sort of ups and city goes and things like that recently, but the GTI is something rather different. It's got a 1 litre 3-cylinder engine with a turbo and 113 horsepower, depending on the year. Sometimes they're 115. But yeah, they're sort of fun. It's sadly the uppers are not with us. Another one of these Monaros, that makes 2 that are here today. So many people have been to Rustival, so many. Unfortunately, what sort of happened is that Longbridge next weekend has been cancelled, but there's another event I'll be going to which has been organised for that day, so don't worry about that, viewers. But next year we will be going to Rustival. This one is Vauxhall and Holden badge. I think it's probably just a Vauxhall, but someone's put the steering wheel over and things like that. They start at like 350 horsepower, I think. Certainly the one I was about that. And they go up to some crazy amount. But this one, I'm not quite sure what that is, personal plate. 2010 Peugeot 107. Of course, one of the most popular videos on my channel last year was a 107. It was a bit later than this, it was 2013. This is a 2010. They're actually good fun little cars, these. E36 BMW 3 Series Coupe. I wonder what specification this is. Hopefully it's got a badge on it. It's quite an early one with no airbags. The 320i. If that's a sort of personal plate that's around the same mirror as the car, it'd be sort of 92, 93, which makes sense. It's got no airbag in it. 91, 92 Mini Cooper. Legendary Mini Cooper, absolutely, yeah. And a legendary Citroen 2CV. Very late one, would have been, I think we put them in Portugal towards the end. 89, 90, so not built in France anymore at this stage. Very late one, Charleston. Buggy, I don't know exactly which one this is. Rear lights look like they're off, gosh, something Italian I think, but I could be wrong. So the Beetle it was based on was registered about 71, 72, although don't know when that was made. And then we've got this Porsche Boxster, original generation Boxster. I forget the model code for these. Just a standard one. I wonder if that's a 2.7. Oh, now this is tasty, viewers. 1989 to 90. Honda Accord Aerodeck 2 litre EX with 4-wheel anti-lock brakes and cruise control. I think that's the sort of car I would like very, very much, viewers. Yes, if anyone has one of these and wants to let me have a go at that, then please do let me know. And we've got 2000 Jaguar S-Type 3 litre V6 that I did in No Budget Reviews in 2022. The exact car. There was a problem with the brakes at the time, which is a little bit funny, but this one I've had them fixed now, and it's superb. It was a very popular video for some reason, that one. Next, Fiat 500, but I think this is like a lounge spec or something. 2016, so just after the facelift for these. You can still go into a showroom now and buy a very similar one, although it'll have the mild hybrid 1 litre engine. Yeah, I prefer Panda myself, but they're pretty much the same car underneath. Oh, very nice. One of these fun generation of spiders. This one's 2007, 2008. That looks like fun. Just let's get my battery for the moment, viewers. We need to do a check on it before we say anything. 2015 Hyundai i10. I've done 3 of these on the channel. This one's an automatic, so I imagine it'll be the 1.2 SE Auto or something. I have driven the 1.2 automatic SE Premium. They're very good cars, those. 1978 to 9 Triumph Spitfire. Speed of 1500 with overdrive. Fantastic. It's so low. I keep wanting to try one of these, but you know, I sort of wonder if I can actually fit in them. Here we have a very, very early facelift MG ZS 1 litre automatic. This is the exclusive. I actually filmed this in 2020 on the channel. It was one of the very first registered, actually, this one. Head to Birmingham plate, because MG at the time was still registering their press cars in Birmingham. It's owned by a gentleman called Stephen. 1980 to 1981, although it would have been built in 1980, MG BGT. It's got these silver striped seats in it. A gentleman known, this is called Daniel, he's somewhere around here. I like the colour of this. The MGB that I filmed last year on Shambolic Classics, it was also a very late one, but it was a roadster rather than the GT. Oh, Suzuki Samurai, or in this case an SJ410, 1986-1987. You've got to be careful driving these, because you know, they're very sort of high and narrow. But as long as you're sensible with them, then of course they are absolutely fine. I haven't seen one of those in a really, really long time. They used to rust terribly, like all other Japanese cars of the 80s. Let's just be a bit careful around here, viewers, and go straight to a Fiat Panda before we do some checks. Mark III Panda Dynamic. And you've got a little friend in there as well. I hope this is a petrol one. Let's just believe that it is. Ooh, Honda Concerto. Very similar to the R8 Rovers. I think introduced around the same time, maybe 88 rather than 89. This will have one of the Honda D series engines in it, and those are extremely, extremely good engines if you look after them. Brilliant. My internet has failed on my phone, so I can't check to see which cars we should avoid in that area. So we're going to go back to a safe area here. Nissan Leaf, first generation, very first car on this HubNut channel, known as Classic Hub at the time. I think he borrowed it from Nissan UK, so appropriate enough. I don't know what these flies are doing here. Mark VI Ford Fiesta. I don't remember there being one called the Fox. Probably got the 1.25 or 1.4 Zetec SE engine in it. The 2 Mark VI Fiestas I've done on the channel, one pre-faced, one post-faced like this, 56 facelift to one but I filmed most recently, have been very popular for some reason. This is the newest car here, and it was registered less than a week ago. Say 2024 Volkswagen T-Cross R line. It's not an R, it's an R line. We don't do an R actually. Yeah. Oh, sorry, not T. I get confused between the T-Cross and the T-Rock. They all have similar names, but yeah, that's very, very new indeed. There is an R as well, but that's an R line. And then we've got an Alphard here, 2004 Toyota Alphard. Bizarrely, I have driven one of these, and it was a camper van conversion. They're sort of relatively common actually. Client asked me to find a camper van for them, and that's what I found, which is unusual for me in my job. So we promised more Dolomite action, and here we have some. Now this is not a Dolomite Sprint. It's got Sprint elements on it, like the alloy wheels, which look very nice actually, and the little spoiler at the front. But this is, it's not. It's just what we would call later an 1850 HL. But actually it wasn't badged an 1850 HL at the time, it was just badged as Dolomite. And this one's an automatic, so early one, 72, 73. I drove a similar one of these actually on the channel recently, but it was a manual. That was in, oh gosh, I think 2022, which was fun. Another car driven on the channel is this particular Audi. It's a B280 Sport, very late B2, 1986. Same engine I think as in the Golf GTI of the time, but mounted longitudinally. So a sort of exotic specification, really. I love this. 1989 to 90 Volvo 240 GLT estate, and it's actually a proper GLT. A lot of people take the GLT wheels and put them on lesser 240s, but this is right. It's got reflective tape on the bumper there, like my mother's old one, which is also a G registration, but it was a GL. Leather interior, 5-speed manual. Lots of random aerials, just absolutely fantastic, and the correct kind of reflective tape on the rear bumper as well. Something else that's delightful is this 1994 to 1995 Vauxhall Cavalier Mark III 1.8 Expression. I love the wheels on this, they look actually original to me. Very late for a Cavalier. They finished production in 1995, and I have driven a very late one, which was a Cavalier Classic. It was a run-out model. Right at the end. Then we've got something else around that sort of time, but this is a very early Mark IV Fiesta. They came out in 95. This is in 1996 on a P, so one of the first P plates. I thought the SI had alloy wheels, but this one doesn't have them. It actually looks quite basic for the SI. It's got the good old 1.25 Zetec SE engine. And, oh gosh, you've got loads of PlayStation games, which is completely appropriate. Gosh, you've got windy windows in here too. Yeah, weird. You expect the SI Zetec to have some alloy wheels, but it doesn't have them, which is interesting. So this is a more standard 1850 HL Dolomite. You can see we haven't got the full vinyl roof. We haven't got the alloy wheels on this. And I think if we look at the front, we'll see the bumper's a little bit different. But yes, right. Steering wheel, this is in really, really nice condition as well. That looks fantastic. Also fantastic, we've seen in the thumbnail, is this Seat Ibiza Mark I. First facelift, I think this one is, 1989 to 90. There was another facelift as well. This was sort of before kind of a lot of the Volkswagen involvement. It was based on kind of similar elements to the Fiat Strada. This one I think would have a system Porsche engine in it, rather than the base ones, which were a 903 kind of OHV. And it's very special, very rare in this country. Also very rare in this country, something that looks a bit like a Proton, but isn't. There's a reason for that. This was called a Lancer Fiore in Japan. It was what they based the original generation Proton 1.3 and 1.5, or Saga in some markets, on. Although the aeroback the Proton did was not the same design as this. They actually made that themselves, which is interesting. So same door handles, very similar interior, all that sort of stuff. But this actually came out way before the Proton. This is like an 87, 88 on an E, whereas the Protons weren't imported into this country until 1989. So this is a real rarity, much rarer than any of the Protons. That's a delight to see, actually, particularly the sort of rare kind of hatchback one. I think Ian Super had one of these years ago. Then we've got a Renault Aventime, not an Aventime, despite having a French degree. I'm informed it is Aventime. This is a very, very high specification one, actually. It's the 3-litre V6 Privilège. What year is this? Does it actually say? No. Personal plate. It came out in 2001, I think. There we go. Cruise control, parking sensors, which you probably need. Heated windscreen. Electric folding mirrors. Auto wipers. Heated front seat. Excellent, yes. There's not that many Aventimes in the country, but I keep seeing them everywhere, which is fantastic. Yet to have a go in one, unfortunately, but of course I would do. And then 2001 Audi S8, it's the sort of Ronin shape, although this is like a facelifted one in comparison with that. That's very nice. You never know what you're going to find at these events, do you, viewers? And then Mark II Fiat Punto, I think it's a facelift Mark II Sporting with a 6-speed gearbox. Having driven a few Mark 1s, I would like to have a go in a Mark II. I've just never been offered one actually. Yeah, I think these have a 1.4 engine, although I could be wrong about that. In midst of this terrible wind noise, we've had some other stuff turn up. 1973 Ford LTD, not LTD Crown Victoria, LTD. The things that started as the LTD Crown Victoria were smaller than this. Absolutely and utterly enormous thing. Leather MGTF, this time a 2004. Can't remember if those are actually correct wheels for this era or not. I should know, but I'm afraid I don't. That one I don't think is a 160, I think it's just a more normal one. It started at the 115 by that stage. 2014 Tesla Model S. I wonder if it's one of these with like stupidly high mileage on them. I think some of them I've come across have done like what, 300,000–400,000 miles. (2005–6) Skoda Fabia Mark 1. Says high torque petrol in it. Hopefully it's not the 54 brake horsepower version, which I filmed in 2022. That was so slow. Hopefully this is either the sort of 64 or even one of the 1.4s, which are a lot better. But yeah, really neat and facelifted, guys. Gonna have to skip that focus for viewers. It's got an engine we can't discuss. 2015 Volkswagen Up Club, I think this is. One of many special editions. The one I filmed, I think towards the end of last year, was the the Rock Up, which is silly, but you know, people like them, don't they? If I were going to buy one, I'd probably stick with the 1 litre MPI engine with 73 horsepower. That's a good compromise between actual power and reliability, because the TSI engines can cause some problems. 2007 to 2008 Vauxhall Vectra C, facelifted one. I imagine looking at this, it's probably just like a 1.8, but that's fine. I did one of these on the channel back in 2020 because I'd sourced it myself. I think in 2018 I sourced it. I think my friend still got it actually. They're actually really, really good cars for the money if you can find a good one. My goodness me, viewers. 1990–1991 Ford Fiesta Mark III. This is either a 1.1 or 1 litre bonus model. I don't know what the bonus was. You didn't get a rear wiper. You didn't really get anything, sort of 4-speed gearbox. Probably the bonus was these wheel trims. That's about it, but that's in absolutely lovely condition. Beautiful reproduction dealer plates and everything. Superb. Mitsubishi Colt, personal plate on this, so B, oh gosh, sort of 2005, something like that. Based on the same platform as the Smart for 4. Rear parking sensors on this. It says red. Does that mean it's like a specification or what? I'm not exactly sure. And we've got here one of the most amazing Renault Clios I've seen. It looks like it's not been washed in about a decade. 2006. Actually, when I came to the last social event that was here, it'll be in September. I think there was a chap who had one of those there. Was that the previous one? Anyway, it appeared on the channel later on. Right, well I think that's pretty much it from here. I will do a separate video just having a look around and seeing what Classic Motor Hub have actually got for sale. But I won't put it in this video because not all of you want to see that. But thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below. Apologies for the wind noise, there's nothing I can do about it. And we shall see you again very soon for some more incorrect information.